Okay, what do you think of the Cleveland Cavaliers? We want to run back the sound that Ty Lue from earlier today. This was after practice, talking about his team's struggles. I was bowled over by this. Take a listen.
I mean, we're still going to make the playoffs. I mean, there's no doubt about that. We feel confident in that, for sure.
You know, we're still going to make the playoffs. That's where we are with a team that's made 3 straight finals? We're still going to make, and by the way, are they? They're not that far out of 9.
They'll be okay. I mean, they're elite strictly by virtue of incumbency, which is you can't disqualify a team in pre-All-Star break if the previous successes were there. But, you know, one of the things that I thought, first of all, you were at the game, you saw it. I mean, the level of indifference and disregard for defense on basic sets, a pick and dive with Clint Capella, like maybe you want to come in from the weak side corner and pick up the big 7-footer who's alone.
Roll into the basket.
I mean, in the half court. This is not even like, oh, some early offense drag screens.
Right.
I mean, this is like, I mean,
basic.
The Rockets have an incredible offense, but it's pretty predictable. Like they run basically the same general sets. I mean, I have not seen that level of disinterest, Brian.
Isaiah Thomas said, don't talk about our toughness. It's not tough to guard that team. They shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
I mean, well, okay, so here's the thing. So Ty Lue comes out and says, hey, we're still a playoff team. The way they have been playing in recent big games, Byron, would this team even win a first-round series?
No.
Right? A first-round series.
Not the way they've been playing in recent games.
I'm not saying, can they make it to the finals? Would they win a first-round series?
No, I don't think they would. And I think LeBron said that about a week ago. You know, if we were in the playoffs right now, we wouldn't win. We wouldn't get out of the first round. And I think he was absolutely right.
By the way, LeBron hasn't lost a first-round game in 6 years.
Right. But right now, they're in disarray. It's no doubt about that. The locker room is in disarray. This whole team right now is in disarray. They don't have an idea of what they want to do as a basketball team. I think they do, but they really don't right now. And you have just so much dissension on this team. You have so many things that are going on inside that locker room that we are not privy to. But, you know, from outside looking in, I could tell when a team doesn't have a bunch of guys that enjoy being around a bunch of other guys. And right now, these guys don't enjoy playing with each other. They don't enjoy being around each other. So winning right now is the least of their worries. I mean, they got enough talent that when you put them out there, they're going to win some games.
I'm starting to get worried.
Ty Lue is right. They're going to make the playoffs. We all know that.
Okay, but where are they going to be? Are they going to be the 7th spot? I mean, that's a concern, by the way, if in the first round, they're right out of the gate. We say, oh, the Cavs take time in the playoffs to warm themselves up. Can't warm yourselves up against the Raptors or the Celtics or whatever teams kind of end up there. Brian, given that there are so many levels to this, but as you and I have talked about so many times, there is a little bit less than half a season left. They still have LeBron James on the roster. It would be a mistake for a franchise like Cleveland that in the future might not attract a lot of free agents to say, we're just going to throw this half season away, whatevs. So what can they do?
I expect LeBron to bounce back from this malaise that he's in. I do not expect him to continue to play this way. He will not go down this way. He knows there's still time left. I expect him to rebound. What I don't know is if the team can come together. And I'm a guy who is coined the, I don't know if I coined it, but I believe in the fact that there's always time. There's always time in playoff series, in games, in seasons, obviously. So I'm not a guy who generally likes to overreact and say, they're done. I would never say that. But I do think with a deadline coming this Thursday, 2 weeks earlier than in the past, they need to change the air in the room. Even if they send out 3 players and get back 2 players that are equivalent or less, they have to change the air in the room. I do not think time will fix it. There are certain issues between certain players that I do not think will be mended. And if you don't do it before Thursday, you may regret it come March, and you may really regret it come July.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's on LeBron. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is I was looking at sort of defensive numbers. For all the talk that, hey, LeBron doesn't really flip the switch defensively to the playoffs, he's been really solid since he got back to Cleveland. These are the defensive real plus-minus numbers. Top 5 at his position each of the 3 previous seasons in Cleveland. Look where he is this season. I mean, again, going back to indifference, he sets the tone. Obviously, he is the kind of great avatar of accountability in Cleveland. And to the extent that they are going to recover, whether it's sending guys in or coming out, I mean, if LeBron would just offer a modicum of effort defensively, I mean, maybe we get from 30th to a whopping 18th and start playing a respectable brand of NBA basketball.
It's a chicken and egg thing, though.
I think they got to make a trade, too. I think they got to clear some of that negativity that they have in that locker room and get it out of there, and then you'll see a rejuvenated LeBron James. And I agree with Brian. I've never counted this guy out. I mean, as long as he's got that 23 jersey on and he's playing, we don't know what's going to motivate him to get him to the next level. But when it comes March, this team always seems to start playing much better, and they always seem to put their differences behind them. I don't think they can do that this year with some of the stuff that you just talked about, what's going on in the locker room. But I think you have to have a change as far as 2 or 3 players got to go, bring in another 2 or 3 players or whatever the case may be. That'll rejuvenate, I think, this whole team.
And you need a hole, though, that is not too deep to dig yourself out of. Because, again, if you're a low playoff seed, which I can't believe we're having
I don't
this
see that's
conversation.
going to happen. I don't see that happening.
You don't have the time to work yourself into it during the playoffs the way we've seen the last couple of years.